You're listening to the Last Man In podcast. Covering Winnipeg hockey and the NHL.
Scheifele dances his way in. Scheifele scores! Blake Wheeler finds the far corner. And the Winnipeg Jets win it in overtime. Woo, woo, woo.
Last Man In podcast, episode 140. And this is it, guys. This is what we've been waiting for all year. The playoff preview episode. And the last time we have to talk about the Jets for a while. It's going to be great.
For a little bit.
I'll
tell you that.
Until they sign Chris Thorburn next week.
For $2.5 million over 5 years.
No! Don't.
5-year, $500,000 contract.
Still not worth it. No. I want someone who I actually like watching play hockey wear number 22 for the Jets. Solely because it's my favorite number.
They let him do the post-game interview. I think he's done.
Michael Stone. Bring him in.
That's fine. I like him.
More than Chris Thorburn.
I don't hate Chris Thorburn. It's just they shouldn't have signed him to his current contract. Yeah. So I don't want him to get the next one. So I wish him well wherever he goes.
So for the playoff preview podcast show, or for today, for episode 140,
yeah,
we're going to focus first on just kind of cleaning up the pre-playoff
mess
stuff.
That was the Jets this year.
Well, cleaning up the hanger. You know,
No. We're cleaning up what needs to be cleaned up.
We're going to de-ice the plane.
Yeah.
So they can take off for another summer.
Not where I was going with
Fly
this.
off into the sunset. Hopefully it runs out of fuel.
And burn up when it gets there.
Drift.
We're gonna talk about the teams that did some spring cleaning with their coaches and front offices, and then we'll talk about the playoffs. So we're gonna do some.
Can we review our predictions too
from the start of the year?
Yes,
I didn't bring the book. Damn it!
You
know what? I had both of them.
All I know is Bernier did better than I expected him to.
Did Shea Weber have more points than PK Subban?
Yes,
he did.
Then I was right.
Mine did even
Ottawa
better.
made the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I said Patrick Laine would get at least 30 goals.
I'm certain you said that.
What was my bold prediction for the East?
My bold, I crushed it with my bold. Like I said all three of the notable Leaf rookies would get 50. They all got 60 plus.
I think you picked Toronto to. Did you even pick them to make the playoffs?
Is that bold? Though?
I didn't think that was that bold. Like I was like,
or did you pick them to win the cup?
He might have said cup.
You did something ridiculous.
I'm sorry, I dropped the ball. I'll bring it next week for sure. Sure.
But I think we all kind of thought that the Jets would be a bubble team. A ninth place finish was kind of. It wouldn't have been a bad season if all season long they had been battling and they just missed out. But no, they wait until they're eliminated and then go on a 7-game win streak.
The longest of their franchise.
To be fair, they still finished 9th.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
In the West, yeah.
Looking at it from the start of the season, I would have thought, if they finish, a couple points out, 3 or 4, that's not that bad. It means they were in it for most of the year, but they weren't in it. This just makes it look better than it was. It's like a team who's playing against, the Patriots or something like that, and the Patriots up 35-3. Then Patriots take out Brady, put in Garoppolo, and kind of just play a prevent defense. Team comes back, makes it 35-28. It doesn't. The score looks better, but it doesn't mean the game was that good.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you know what's funny? You know what else came from Atlanta?
Hey, no. I said New England. I did not talk about the Falcons.
Do you know what else came from Atlanta?
The Jets.
Our hockey team.
I know. I wasn't talking about Atlanta, though. I was just talking about New England in general. Because we don't mention anything about the Falcons on this podcast. No. It's like Game 7.
You got the Cubs. You used up all your wishes.
Hey, do you know what else happened on Sunday? My favorite golfer won the Masters. That's what happened on Sunday.
Sergio Garcia?
Garcia.
Not going to lie, I've known Greg a long time. I've never heard him say Sergio once.
Ask anybody.
That's like 2 years ago. Suddenly Greg loves college basketball. Yet I've known him for quite a while. And then he's like, dude, I've been watching my whole life. I know everything about ball, because ball is life.
Been watching NCAA March Madness since I was in grade 11. So I've been like 7.
But only 2 years ago is when I heard about it.
Yeah, because I didn't
make it
He follows from a distance, and then one year when something he likes happens, he's like, "Oh, I waited my whole life." He just waits for it and jumps.
Yeah. I will tell you that I have waited my whole life for Toronto to play.
Well, not yet.
Washington.
We're not there yet.
They haven't made it
that's
yet.
a preview.
Yeah, I know,
We haven't
I know,
gotten to
I know,
that section.
We haven't gotten to the playoffs
How
yet.
dare
Okay.
you?
No.
So Jets finished on a 7-game win
God.
streak, longest of their franchise.
Yep.
What stood out to you the most in this 7-game win streak?
Everyone else was in garbage time too, so I mean.
No, they beat some good
tossed
teams.
it.
They beat
No.
Nashville. They beat Columbus. They beat.
Yeah, but they're already in like neutral.
But-
they were just waiting for the playoffs.
Okay, well,
Nashville could have still
they beat
missed
Ottawa.
it by LA.
But the bigger thing is in all 7 games they came back from behind to win each game.
Oh, did they?
Every game.
Jesus.
The Nashville game, they were down 1-0 going into the third period. They tied it with about 5 minutes left, and they scored the game winner with about 30 seconds left. So they came back in every game.
Oh, that's not
Their goaltending was good in the last 7 games. Like Hellebuck, I was at the game on Saturday. He was fantastic.
The biggest thing I noticed from their last 7 games is they were getting goals from other places than just Patrick Laine and Mark Scheifele and Blake Wheeler. Other guys were contributing, and that was really the first time all season that it wasn't just a core, couple lines doing it. Because Patrick Laine was pretty cold at the end of the season. But granted, this can happen with a rookie, and he still finished the year with, 35 goals? 34?
36, I think.
36?
We have to
64 points,
we
so
have
he
to-
finished second in scoring for
But
rookie.
we have to call him a playmaker now. He's not a goal scorer because goal scorers usually lead their rookie class in goals.
Well,
and
that's just
that
what
belongs
happens.
to us and Matt.
Who got 40
Yeah.
on a greasy empty net goal against
In
Pittsburgh
3.4 seconds left.
to send them to the playoffs.
I
to
would say the
officially
Connor
click.
Brown
Remember
goal
when all the
kinda
Leafs
cleared
fans
that
were
up.
saying that Laine had all those empty net goals, they don't count?
Oh, no.
Well,
He
what
got
they think
40
now?
to make it count.
I
Screw
wonder what
you.
they
He
think
got
now.
one.
Hey, I'm with you. I thought, of all things, I'm like, dirty? No. Yeah, you had to score your
counts.
40th goal,
It
empty
counts.
net. But it's not memorable, right? Like, I remember Matt Sundin's 500th goal because he ripped it top corner on Mika Kiprusoff, and I believe that was his hat trick in overtime. It was a regular season game, but you want that goal to be somewhat memorable. 40 goals in your rookie season, and it's
to
just
be
an
fair,
empty netter is kind
His
of...
mom and dad were there.
But
Of
to be
course
fair,
he did.
there's a very good chance that his best game ever was his first game in his career.
Very true.
He got 4 goals in one game.
Yeah.
He might he might do that again, but he might never do better than
He
that.
set a real hard precedent
I'm just
for
saying.
the first game of every
I'm
year
just
for
saying.
the rest of his career.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, do you remember in your rookie years? Yeah, I remember. I wish I could take it back. I hate this stupid question. I should have got 2 goals and 2 assists.
Guys, he stopped trying because he realized he's like, if I could beat every record if I score 4 goals every game. And it's not that hard. Because it didn't seem that hard for him. But he's like, if I score 4 goals every game, we're still going to lose. Which is funny. And I want to talk about that once we get to the once we get to the playoff series. Because
Okay,
there's
well,
something funny
basically,
on that.
final thoughts on the Jets then. Are we going
I think the biggest thing this team needs is consistency. And I think that'll come with a little bit of a shakeup to their roster. I think that it'll be interesting moving
I
forward.
understand. So Josh Morrissey traded to the Flyers.
No,
You
Josh
said
Morrissey
shake-up.
Never.
So
I don't
they
think-
also
I don't think they need
Cheveldayoff
it.
also said that not to interrupt you, but to interrupt you, Dan. Cheveldayoff also said that he's got his full that Paul Murray says his full support, so he'll be staying on. And what was the other thing I was going to say?
don't extend him
They're
now.
going to explore
and
their
what-
options with a goalie.
And Jacob Trouba won't talk about an extension at this time.
No.
Yeah.
But he did say he likes Winnipeg and he thinks his team can go somewhere. So
Well,
Well, I think a lot of people think this team can go somewhere, but it's time to.
he
for
said he
them to
likes
do
Winnipeg and this team can go somewhere without being asked the question.
Yeah.
Like he pretty much came out and he's like, "You guys are gonna ask me about it, aren't you?" And they kind of laughed. He's like, "I like Winnipeg. I don't." He basically said he likes
The
it here.
PR answer.
But he's gonna wait. To,
Something that a certain airline company can learn how to run
Yeah.
proper PR.
Yeah, but maybe he's thinking if I get even better next year, I'll get like if he signs
He
now
gets
versus if he
so much
signs in a
money.
year, he might make.
Yeah, don't pull a
He might get
Couturier.
way more.
Don't do that. You
But it's
make
like,
sure you win that money.
I heard a good point today on the way home about Paul Maurice.
Yeah.
If they sign to an extension now,
Maurice.
yes.
Okay.
Or if they wait, because they kind of said it, like the vibe that I got in their closing pressers yesterday was that next year they want to win. They don't. There's none of this. It's going to be a building year. Next year they want to win. So if you the point was made, if you think that next year is going to be the year you take that step, get in the playoffs, have a very fantastic year. If you think Paul Maurice is the guy that's going to do that to this team, if he does that to this team next year and you didn't sign him this year, he's going to want more next year when you try and sign him.
Yeah, but I think
So
he'd
do
be
you
worth
sign
it.
him this year, hoping that saying, I fully believe this team's going to be in the playoffs next year, and he's going to be the coach that gets them there. If he does, maybe you save yourself money in the long run by signing him now. Obviously, it's a gamble because if they're in the same position, I don't think he'll be back.
I like the coming from that perspective. You either
It was
extend him so you save
different,
cash.
yeah.
Well, you extend him or save cash. But I like the approach of, well, you want the money, you're in a contract here, you earn it, and you turn the heat up a little bit.
Yeah.
And just
I
you
think-
earn your keep.
So you say
I think he needs it.
So if you end up having to pay him an extra $1 million, $2 million a year,
That's fine.
you're okay with it? No,
I'm
that's fine.
okay with
That's
it
fine.
because then he showed me that when the pressure's on under, like, for him, he can do it. And, like, okay, say if you sign him to a 3-year and 2 years into that extension doesn't work out. You win some, you lose some, but also, like anything that's managerial and not as player, there's no cap hit for that. So it's just like an internal loss, not an actual cap hit loss.
No.
And the other thing too,
it was an interesting wave to. I'd never heard it that argument before, and that made sense to me.
But-
He's going to be their coach next year. He's not. They aren't going to fire him.
Yeah, because
But no, let's say hypothetically, like midway through the year, they're in last place, and they have the team they have right now. Let's just say hypothetically, and they're in last place. If you just sign him to a 3-year extension, you're not firing him. But by not doing it, then you have the opportunity to explore other options. You may not fire him in that season, but now you can start looking at what the market has to offer, start feeling around the league. Obviously, you can't talk to another coach while he's employed by another team, but you can kind of start getting that feel around the league, which could be beneficial to the Jets. They're in a kind of a power position if they do poorly, and they're kind of at the mercy of Paul Maurice if they do well.
Yep. I mean,
So it's a risk, and I think it's a risk that's worth it for the Jets because this is kind of like that show me contract year. That's what Paul Maurice has next year.
yeah, which is fantastic.
And
I like those.
I don't think I think they'll sign him midway through the year if it's going well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
next
okay.
year.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
once he gets a midway contract, that's when they toss her in.
Yeah.
It'd be
Tank
nice.
Nation.
It's going to be nice if they can at least carry this forward to next year. I mean, 7. That's the longest win streak they've had since they've been back. 7 games, and they did it when it didn't matter.
I do
It'd be nice if they could carry it over to the start because they always seem like they're a team that's trying to catch up as opposed to a team that's trying to hang on.
Yeah.
And I have a stat here. On March 4th, they were 2 points out of the playoffs. They went 12-5-1 from the beginning of March to the end of the year, which is a very good record, and they still didn't make playoffs. So that shows you how hard it is to catch up.
Yeah.
So it'd
When
be
you're
nice.
behind, yeah.
It'd be nice if they could go on a, maybe they start the year 7-3 next year.
Well, remember the year they made
Something
the
really
playoff?
good, and then they, instead of trying to catch up, they just have to worry about
Yeah.
staying where they are.
Well,
I'm
they-
pretty sure that's identical to what the Leafs went. Not to sorry.
No,
Ken,
go
but
ahead.
I'm pretty sure that's identical to what the Leafs went, and the Leafs were, I think, either clear by 2 points or 4 points. But it just shows you that to make the playoffs, you need to be better than just 500.
And you have
down
to be,
the stretch,
You have
down
to
the
be
stretch,
above
not all.
above that for the whole whole
Yeah,
year.
and the year that the Jets, I'm pretty sure the year the Jets made the playoffs, with a month out in the season, all they had to do was go 500 and they made the playoffs.
Yeah. They
So
were
yeah,
in a
you
playoff
want to be,
spot
you want
pretty
to be,
much the whole year.
you want to have that cushion.
Yeah. So it'd be nice if they can carry it forward to next year.
Yeah, you're right. Like it is a lot easier to hang on than it is to catch up.
And I don't think they need a massive overhaul. I'd like them to bring in a goalie, maybe a defenseman,
I think
maybe a veteran forward, but I really think Kyle Connor is going to be on the team. Jack Roslovic.
Nick Bonino.
Yeah.
I like honestly
Yeah.
I like that option.
I really think Jack Roslovic will be in the Moose for the Moose fan of the year.
Okay.
But Kyle Connor, that game on Saturday, he totally different player compared to when you saw him play for the Jets in November compared to Saturday. Totally different.
Well,
he
speaking of-
looked like an NHL player.
Speaking of Kyle Connor, in regards to the Moose, he won Rookie of the Year, the 3 Stars Award, and the MVP of the team. And it was his first year professional.
And
And he missed the first month and a half, 2 months of the
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
He was
And then
pretty spectacular.
D-Man of the Year was Churchman.
Churchman. See, that's a guy that I'd be curious about bringing up next year.
But you have Tucker Pullman now.
I'm still wondering
Yes.
how his name works out to Churchman.
You'll never know.
It's unacceptable. I was just gonna say my favorite part of the stretch run that they went on was they played one of the best teams, coldest at the time, but best teams in the NHL in Columbus, with a rookie goalie, first game ever, and Jack Roslovic, so rookie first NHL game, and they beat them. It's like, what? Why can't you pull wins like this out of your ass in like November? Like it doesn't make sense.
And if you remember last year, they went 4 in a row to end the year last year too. They hadn't done it all year.
And I think when they brought Maurice in, they had an unbelievable run too at the end of that year.
They always do so well when the pressure's off, but they need to find a way to do that when there's pressure. Either ignore the pressure as best you can, or find a way, because they have to do that in October, November.
I got it on the calendar that they send out to all the players. And like, here's your games, here's your itinerary. Just write March on it or April. Just keep switching the names of the months every month.
That's how you.
Well, clearly they whoop ass in those months, but they are pretty average in every other month.
Take out anything that's October, because I'm so sick of their first 10 games this season and their record being 4-5-1.
Just basically take out. Don't mention anything before American Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
because like that pressure is ridiculous. Like it's
because you got to start off well.
If you don't start off well by the first month and a half of the season, you're not making playoffs, and that stat. Time and time again is true.
That All-Star break stat too.
And I don't remember if I think it was Maurice. He said there's not going to be him and Cheveldayoff. They both kind of said there's not going to be a lot of young players, like first year young players on the team next year, like there has been in the last 2 years.
As he did that, he actually turned into the DX crotch chop to Jack Roslovic, who's center stage left.
So that makes me feel like a lot of the team's going to be what they have now. They might go and get some outside help to fill in the gaps.
Well, that'd be okay. Tucker Pullman could totally use a year, but I don't know how his
But you have to keep in mind, he has both his shoulders operated on. He's going to be doing rehab all summer. For him to get back into game shape, I don't think he'll play until December.
Oh, whoa.
Well,
he had double surgery?
He's a 4 to 6 month recovery, and that's just rehab.
Oh,
that's not getting him into game shape once he's 100%. I think he'll be in the AHL for the most of next year, because I don't think he's going to be ready for training camp. That's just and maybe they bring him up, but so I don't even know if he's going to be an option for them next year just because of his injuries.
Yeah, well, no, you would know, like, coming from the injury side. No, but I'm just thinking, I just hear the timeline. I'm like, 4 to 6 months, but that's with recovery time, and we don't know how great it's going to go either. Like, everyone heals kind of differently. And, I can't say, I've had a shoulder injury, but I haven't had double shoulder surgery. Yeah. That's a whole... Yeah. That's he's going to lose a lot of muscle. Yeah. What do they call that? Atrophy? Yeah, muscle atrophy.
But he'll get moving. He'll start working out pretty fast, but it's going to take a while for him to heal. They also, it seems like goaltending wise, they're going to try and do something. And actually, Cheveldayoff, the way he explained why they did what they did this year, I actually liked his explanation. He said, we wanted to see what Connor Hellebuyck could do in the NHL. If they had given him another year in the AHL this year, then right now we'd be saying, well, we're going to maybe bring him up next year and see what he can do. Then you have to wait a whole nother year
they threw him to the fire
to see where he is. Now that they know
they can evaluate
what he did, now they know, okay, maybe he's a couple of years off. Let's go get a goaltender. So it was almost a necessary thing this year. They had to get him in there at some point and see what he can do. So when he said that totally makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Because I know, once things started going awry and they were just kind of switching in between, everyone was like, well, what the hell?
Yeah.
What's going on? But they wanted to see that then.
There was another...
If it would have happened.
There was an ex-goalie, Steve Valenket. Does that sound familiar?
Valenket? Yeah.
He works with the Rangers now, but he was on 1290 today, and he said that they can't rush Connor Hellebuyck. I think they said he played 88 games in the AHL, and he said if you look at all, you look at the top 5 goalies in the league right now, or the top 10 guys in the league, the minimum that they played in the AHL was 150 games. So he said you need that experience to learn how to play in the NHL, to play pro. So he said Hellebuyck's played half of that. So he said they need to pace him. They need to slowly work him in.
I think they're doing that with Eric Comrie. But we do need to move on because we don't have all the time in the world.
Before we leave the Jets real quick, Josh Morrissey, Mark Scheifele will represent Team Canada at the World Championships. And Jacob Trouba, Andrew Kopp, and Connor Hellebuyck will be representing Team USA.
Andrew Kopp's going?
And Patch Kleinen will not be part of Team
No, but Ehlers will be.
I question his character and everything about this kid. What did he play, 130 games in the last year?
Yeah.
What?
Doesn't need any time off.
I play a game a week. Get out of here.
You know who's getting a lot of time off right now?
The Flyers?
No.
Oh.
LA Kings general manager, former general manager, Dean Lombardi. And today they also fired Coach Daryl Sutter.
I thought they did a package.
Oh, maybe they did both at the same time.
They
Regardless.
actually did it at
canned
the
them
same
both
time. They
last
brought
night,
in
yeah.
Donald. He was in town. He's like, "You're double fired," and he pointed both fingers.
Yeah.
Double fired.
And then everybody mistake that for missiles. And
Yeah.
We
The thing that lost me for Dean Lombardi, like when I totally lost faith in him, was when he totally tossed Mike Richards under the bus.
That's what a lot of people
for,
are saying.
for the border thing, and then he wanted to bring back. He tried everything for Voynov.
Slab
Like what the fuck?
Yeah, that
Like,
was a
pardon, I'm
character
sorry
thing.
for the language, but like,
We
okay,
have a-
drug abuse, terrible. It sucks. Fixable.
He also needed it.
No, he needs. There you go. Like at one point, it was a necessity for him to have it, but then he's throwing that
didn't
guy under
really-
the bus,
Yeah.
and he's trying to keep a guy who beat up his wife or girlfriend, whatever, and then is getting deported, and he's like, "Oh, well, maybe he won't get deported." Like,
Do you know what the difference is?
Go. Russia and
No.
Canada.
Slava Voynov was playing at the top of his game when his last game with the LA Kings. He was still at the top of his game.
Oh yeah.
Mike Richards was not playing at the top of his game when they got him.
Yeah.
That's the difference, and that's part of the problem. And I, honestly, this was meant to eventually crumble. It eventually had to.
It's all the
And
contracts. They're not like his Ben
There's
Bishop
only-
move. Like what?
Yeah,
Now the who's the GM
they're
now?
getting Marc Andre Fleury in the offseason. They need 3
Oh yeah,
goalies
the
there.
three-headed beast.
Yeah, they're just gonna play them all at the same time.
I can't wait. Fleury, I take him face-offs is my dream. Who's the GM and the new guys replacing him?
So Rob Blake and Luc Robitaille were promoted.
So Robitaille's president and Rob Blake
Blake
is
is
assistant VP and GM?
Yeah, I believe
Okay.
so. Yeah, I believe that's how it's breaking. down.
Oh no, that's starting another problem. Alumni, what are you doing?
I know.
It's a quick fix.
You need
it's a quick fix.
You
again.
need the old boys club.
I hate the stupid old boys. Club.
club.
The old boys
Because
club
it
is
worked.
doing
It's,
okay
hey,
for now.
hey guys, it's worked before. Let's talk about all the examples it's worked. It worked for the Stars when they had Joe Newendike and they gave James Neal along with Matt Niskanen away for Alex Goligoski. It worked for Edmonton for tons of years. Like a lot of years, it worked at Edmonton.
Yeah, fans didn't have a hashtag going for 3 goddamn years.
Yeah,
Lowe's
and
gotta
it's
go.
like- And really, in all reality, like Steve Yzerman's just done wonders for the Red Wings, but he actually works for the Lightning and has done wonders for them.
Because there's no connection, it's a job. You
Oh.
can walk away.
And then there's Brendan Shannon who's done wonders for the Red Wings as well. No, that's for the Leafs. So let's
Paul Holmgren hit homer after homer after homer with his deals.
let's be honest.
Oh, let's just
wrong with
even-
Hextall.
Yeah, well, Hextall, see, right now, working out great. It's going to come crashing down real quick
'Kay,
soon.
Can we
I hope not.
Can we get to the other thing?
Go.
The hell is going on with the Florida Panthers? What are they doing?
What do you mean?
They demoted Tim Rowe out of coach and GM, and they re-brought in Dale Talon.
What?
Yeah,
Ross?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Dale Talon.
Do you want me to tell you what's happening? Vince McMahon is running that team. He's got his writers working, and they're just writing the storyline.
It was me, Austin, the whole time.
That's what's happening there.
Have you seen everything that happened there?
I've been following it.
It's
at a glance.
ridiculous.
Okay, wait. They fired Talon. They demoted Rowe.
No,
to-
they didn't fire him. They promoted him in quotations. To a
Oh, they
different
promoted
job.
him to president, then they
because
demoted him
they
to
didn't want him
GM.
being their GM.
But now he's back.
No, he's their GM.
He's
again.
not
He's
a
a
bad
GM.
GM.
No,
And Tom Rowe isn't fired. He's just going back to doing whatever he's doing
Yeah.
before.
and they're essentially doing everything they were doing 3 months ago, except they're looking for a coach now.
Have you ever seen that X-Men
Which
movie where
means
Wolverine
Daryl
goes
Sutter's
back in
good.
time, and then at the end of the
Yeah,
movie,
Days of Future Past.
everything's reset?
Days of
That's
Future
what they
Past.
just did.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. Well, like these are all the coaches that got canned in the since our last podcast.
Wow,
So
way to just put that bluntly. Willie Desjardins.
Willie Desjardins,
How did he last the year?
Lindy
Assistant coach.
Ruff, which means what? Valerie Nichushkin's coming back
Yeah.
next year, guys.
Which means Daryl Sutter's going to the Dallas Stars.
Oh, God, I hope not. And was there someone? Nope, that's it.
And Lindy Ruff will probably end up with the Florida Panthers.
So these are the
or the Vancouver.
These are the
Canucks.
4 teams that have vacancies as of right now. But this is Tuesday night. Like,
Vancouver-
Someone's getting fired right now as we're recording.
Vancouver, Dallas, Florida, and LA have vacancies.
Oh shit. And well then Vegas 5.
Yeah. Oh, Daryl Sutter's going to go to Vegas. He's not giving up that cushy lifestyle, loving it. And
He's a farmer.
no,
he cares.
Yeah, I know. He actually wouldn't care. But
I would not put Sutter in Vegas. Like I don't think
I think Lindy Ruff will end up in Vancouver. If I have to put money on it, I could see him in Vancouver.
I could see that.
Even though young players hate him. Valley and Shushkin. But
Vancouver doesn't have any young players. They're fine.
yeah, they're 5 years away from being 5 years away. which is hilarious. Like
Yeah.
that, they've tried to hang on to that team for way too long.
Who's this?
The Vancouver Canucks. Oh fuck!
I don't want to say.
Well,
I don't want to say it, but I
considering-
think Jim's gonna be out of a job by
Jimmy?
by draft time.
Jimmy Ben.
Like Jimmy B is going down at that.
Okay.
Considering
shit.
that their roster isn't that much drastically different than when they were in the Cup final.
But that's
And that-
the problem.
and that's
Everyone's just
6
older.
Like, I get that they've swapped their goaltending, and they've got, like, there's been interchangeable pieces here and there, but a lot of it's
Okay,
different.
so
And what they brought in isn't very good.
so the U.S. today at the beginning of the year put out their predictions for the season. They said how many points each team would get.
Okay.
Okay,
Who
they nailed USA Today.
Oh.
They nailed one on the head. The Buffalo Sabres with 78 points. Their biggest
Is that an
differential.
accomplishment to get that one right?
I don't know. Their biggest. Their
They got
biggest
one right.
differential.
I mean, it counts.
Their
right?
biggest differentials were the Columbus Blue Jackets. They had them at 74 points. They actually got 108. The Edmonton Oilers, who they had at 77, who got 103. The Ottawa Senators, who they had at 74, getting 9, and they got 98. The
Great
Toronto
we're in
Maple
that
Leafs.
group.
They were like you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Toronto Maple Leafs, 71 points, and they finished with 95.
Suck it, USA Today. What did they guess for the Flyers? Just tell me that.
Philadelphia Flyers, they had 96, and they only got 88. So.
Ooh.
Their biggest negatives were the Dallas Stars, who they predicted would have 106 points, who finished with 79. The Colorado Avalanche, who they predicted having 73 points, who finished with 48.
73 is already piss awful, and they missed that by about 30.
They had the Leafs finishing in last again this year. Oh no, sorry, they didn't. They had a different team, which I'll get to in a second.
Okay, well-
and then the Panthers, they had at 101, who finished with 81. But they had the Vancouver Canucks finishing with 65 points, and they finished with 69,
Oh, damn it.
which would have been
Really?
last in the league in their estimates, but still
As
wasn't
Vancouver
last.
lost or won their last game, I didn't pay attention.
They
You
lost.
just see like a dark room in the corner where the press box is, all the lights are shut off, and you just see a single light on Jimmy be like, 69.
Oh,
I can't wait for you, Jakey. Oh,
It's
if you want to, I just want to bring this up before we leave.
okay.
You mentioned Buffalo.
Yeah.
Jack Eichel, did you watch his?
No, I heard about it though.
Okay, Jack Eichel.
Him and Sam Reinhart don't get along.
Well,
Apparently.
Jack Eichel was very salty, very upset because in the like everyone's press like going away.
His
the
sodium levels were high.
Yeah, well, his exit interview, well, he was very like grumpy, and like it took a few minutes for people to click in why he was grumpy. Now I'll tell you, they were saying like he would basically went and put his whole team on blast, saying like, oh well, it's one thing like saying you want to win and then actually doing it, and then it's another thing like I think too many guys on this team are just satisfied and okay with playing in the NHL. Like some people like me. I basically want to win. That's essentially what he said.
Oh, that's what I want. That's what I'd want my captain to say.
Perfect.
that's bold coming from a guy who's playing his second year in the
No,
league.
no. Hold on. The reason he was probably very upset. So there's a clause in Jack Eichel's contract.
Oh yes, I've heard of this.
There's
yes.
a clause in his contract where if he finished in the top 10 scoring in the NHL by points per game, he got a $2 million bonus. There was only one player he had to worry about after his last game finish, and it was Leon Draisaitl. Leon Draisaitl needed 2 points to pass him by .01. What did Leon Draisaitl do?
Get
He
2
got
points.
2 assists in his final game, bumped him by .01 points, and he lost out on $2 million.
Ouch.
Damn it! He was gonna buy a helicopter and fly around with Kane all off season.
But I
There was that
think-
plan.
I think he's actually one of those guys though that wants to win, and I could see. I think
He's
his-
young. He wears his
No,
heart
but-
on his sleeve.
but
He's
I
very
think-
emotional.
I think his statement is very valid. I think there are guys in the NHL that are just content being in the NHL, and that might be part of the problem there. I could probably tell you that Ryan O'Reilly wants to win. Zach Bogosian probably wants to win. I don't know if Evander Kane wants to win. I don't know if he cares.
Well, let me name another guy who got a pretty sweet, cushy contract, or 2 of them actually. Former buddies of Johnny T, Matt Molson and Cal Oposo. Did they even do anything this year with their ridiculous contracts that somehow they got? In the danger zone contract, anywhere between 5 to 8 million, or 5 to 6.5.
Four
Well,
to-
watch your ass. It's terrifying contracts.
Unless you're Mark
that.
Scheifele, who just outperforms his
But he's at the top end. It's okay. It's okay. He's at the higher end of it. It's okay.
And he's young.
And he's young. Lots of upside. Matt Molson, Kyle Oposo, take Scheifele any day of the week over those guys. And I don't think anyone wouldn't. You go to Matt Molson, you'd be like, yeah, Mark Scheifele.
Yeah, but to be fair, if Mark Scheifele puts up 82 points a year for the next 7 years on $6.25 million, that's the best contract in the NHL.
It's a really good contract.
It's one of the best.
Exactly. But obviously injuries might happen, or
but I'm just
lockouts
saying,
might happen.
I'm just saying, if he does that.
Exactly.
The other thing I was going to just mention or say, the Boston Bruins, the Edmonton Oilers, and I believe the Toronto Maple Leafs pretty much started a rebuild around the same time. 2 of them in the playoffs, one of them still can't get over 80 points.
Wait, who is the third one again?
Edmonton, Buffalo, Toronto.
Oh, yeah, Buffalo.
And Buffalo can't do it, and I think it's, like, they have some pieces. They have Sam Reinhart, they have Jack Eichel, they have Rasmus Ristolainen. Like, Robin Lehner isn't a terrible goalie, unless it's a shootout.
Their D is not fantastic.
No, it's not, But
that's a weak point. Like, we know their weak point. That's who you
kind of like Edmonton.
But they need...
Their D was bad for so many
years.
But
their rebuild hasn't done anything. Like, they really... they went out and signed Ryan O'Reilly. Like, I believe that Tim Murray's still trying to replace guys with signing them instead of trying to draft them. And I don't think that's the way you do it. Because you look, big signing for Kyle Okposo, Matt Molson, Brian Gionta, Josh Georges, Kyle Okposo. Unless I already said him.
Going out and signing your team only works if you have a core to build to sign these guys and put them around.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, name one team that's gone out and signed a bunch of guys and has consistently been a winner.
The 94 New York Rangers.
There's lots...
Yeah.
Because they bought the Edmonton Oilers.
The 2002 Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah.
Also known as the Hall of Fame team.
Everyone.
A lot of teams will go out and sign. They'll go out and sign a lot of big time players. They'll make the playoffs that year, and then they're terrible for the next 3 or 4 years.
We got to move on though.
But
we got to get to the reason why people clicked on this video, which is playoff talk, because the playoffs start tomorrow.
Yep.
Playoff pool.
5 Canadian teams in the playoffs. First time. Third time in 20 years this has
Which
happened.
is also
went from 0. How awesome would it be if all 7 made it 1 year?
It's also the first time
Vancouver in the playoffs.
It's also the first time.
It'll happen eventually.
It's also the first time these 5 Canadian teams have been in the playoffs at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think it's the first playoff matchup between Washington and Toronto. I believe it's the first playoff matchup between Boston and Ottawa.
I didn't know.
Where are we
Washington and Toronto haven't.
Or it's been a long time since.
No, they've never played in the playoffs.
I didn't think so.
Where are we starting?
Let's start in the West. Because I want to save the best for last.
Yeah, I think that's where we were going.
We will save Washington for last year.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're starting in the West?
Yeah, let's go Chicago, Nashville.
Well, Chicago, Nashville, what do we expect out of the series? Let's do a breakdown and then our picks.
Can I quickly say?
Go.
I think
you
that
can't just blurt your pickup.
No, I'm not going to blurt my pickup. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna be a little reserved here. Try to be at least. I think this series is going to come down to 2 things. One, the goaltending of Pekka Rinne, because I think if he plays his best hockey, he is better than Corey Crawford. And how well Nashville can expose Chicago's weak points of their team. You know, their depth D and their bottom 6. Whoever can win kind of that bottom 6 battle, because Chicago might have a little bit better depth when it comes to their forwards, but I believe that Nashville's got the better depth in defense. So I think that it's really going to come down to how the depth players play. Because really, if you look on paper, they're pretty well matched up. Like, who would you rather have, OC and Subban or Keith and Seabrook? I know who my pick is, and they wear yellow and blue. Like, OC and Subban. If I had to pick a top...
Who's OC?
Roman Yossi.
No, OC.
Okay,
OC.
well, I was like,
who?
Did you mean
Roman.
Oshie? Who's he
Did
talking about?
Did I follow the wrong team?
No, you guys know what I'm saying.
Well, now I do, yeah.
This is a tough one for me to call because Nashville statistically did not have one. Like, they only had 94 points this year. That's not a lot for them.
Only.
That's not a lot for them.
Yeah,
they're normally well over 100 points.
They're around that 100 point
and
mark.
they barely snuck into the they didn't barely sneak in, but they were the last wild card spot. So, but then you look at Chicago, consistently always top of the Central, no matter what they do, no matter who plays for them. It's hard because on paper I do think this could go either way.
The thing about this series is
But-
everyone's going so hard towards Chicago, but I don't think it's as like one-sided as a lot of people think it is.
I think it's going to be close, a lot closer than people think.
It's no Chicago Minnesota series. It's not. It's not a
You gotta
guarantee.
save that for round 2.
Yeah, exactly.
God. You guys, I'm getting so tired of Chicago, Minnesota, St. Louis. A sweet Neapolitan flavor every year.
Well, this is
Every
what
year.
happens when you got the divisional matchups.
Well, I don't like
you
divisional
build.
matchups
You
anymore.
build.
I'm tired,
a lot-
Gary.
You build these rivalries.
It took 3 years.
That they're
We're
all
sick of it.
about.
I'm tired,
We're
Gary.
sick of it. This is
Continue.
tough for me, but
Wait, we're doing picks now?
betting with my head
Well,
and my heart.
You gotta say something.
Yeah, say
Oh,
something. Say
on
something.
the series?
Then we'll do
Yeah.
our
I'm definitely
picks.
excited to watch this. I like how it's going to be a later game because I like the late games because I actually get to watch them. I totally agree with your Pecorine. Like, not really doing much of a stretch in terms... Like, Pecorini's either super hot, super cold. He's rarely in between. I love me some Pecorine. Corey Crawford, he gets the job done. But that's all Chicago needs. Like, because Chicago has... Well, they've won 3 cups. So, like, we already know what's going on. But, in regards to that, I'm excited to watch this, I guess. And yeah, you guys said everything that I would say or I hadn't thought of. And I agree.
I'll lead off.
Go.
Whoa, wait. We have to preface this.
Oh,
this is our
round 1.
third year doing this, where we have kind of our own playoff pick thing.
Yeah.
With a scoring system that probably doesn't make any sense.
Makes
But
no
it makes sense to us.
Yes.
That's what matters.
So you
it
pick.
gets us a winner.
Yeah.
So you pick team, which gets you 2 points.
Yeah.
You pick how many games that gets you 1 point.
Yeah.
And the tiebreaker is a player.
Yeah.
So
Most
we pick-
points.
So realistically, you could pick the wrong team, but if you get the right number of games, you get a point.
Yes.
This is fantasy pickers.
Which makes no sense.
We have a loser point in our playoff picks.
Exactly.
Is what happens.
Hey, but I want to touch on the loser point when we get to a certain team.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so are you going to start
I've
then?
been going back and forth. Do I want to bet with my head or bet with my heart?
Heart's way more fun.
My
I'll tell you
head's
that.
been leaning towards Chicago, but my heart says I'm sick and tired of the goddamn Blackhawks being in the finals. So I'm going with my heart. I'm picking Nashville in 7.
Ooh, nice. Okay, I'll go. I'm tired of the evil empire that is Chicago. Hashtag Johnny wants to go golfing. Hashtag send Johnny to his cabin. Hashtag Johnny hasn't been to his cabin in years. Cabin time Johnny. Nashville in 6.
Hashtag.
Lots of hashtags. Don't hashtag those. It won't work. Greg's going to be that goddamn evil empire, isn't he?
No,
Yeah.
I know it's going through his head. He's like, damn it, I wanted to pick
Yeah,
Nashville.
yeah,
and they
yeah.
both did.
Now I got to
No,
pick him in 5.
No. I have Chicago in 6.
Monster.
The only
Ah.
like you guys, my heart wants Nashville, but sometimes you just gotta go with your head.
Your mind is telling you no, but
gotta
your
do
body, body's telling me yes.
Okay,
All right.
let's go to the
All right.
other Central Division matchup.
Yeah.
Probably the most exciting 2 teams.
Oh, yeah.
St. Louis
For sure.
and Minnesota.
Could you imagine if
They're
one of these
both-
games went to like 5 overtimes?
They're both high-scoring teams. They have high-octane offenses.
They're both coming in hot.
Yeah.
Not hot at all.
What do you guys think?
Okay, they're both... Okay, I'll just speak from like the Minnesota side of my brain because it applies to both. Both teams, great like team systems. They all like each line knows their role, but each line can also score. They also have grit. They also hit. Each team has like a sniper or 2 that when they're on the ice, like you'd expect them to get the 1 goal that's going to be scored in the game. This is going to be obviously super low scoring. Who's the goalie for Jake Allen?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I would give the edge in goaltending to Minnesota. However, they're not coming in very hot at all.
No.
Like, I'm second guessing this one. But systematically, this is a coach's dream. Like when if you're a coach and you're teaching kids how to play hockey, like systematically, watch this series because this is how you defend it. And this is how you're going to play it. It's going to be a chess game all series.
The other
Wait
thing
for
is,
all those words on TV.
Do you think that there is? Oh, and you're going to hear this a lot. Do you think there's a little bit of an upside, a little bit of tilting of the chessboard because Mike Yao used to coach the Minnesota Wild?
Shit! I
I
forgot
didn't
about
even
that.
think about that. Ooh, interesting. It's a storyline within the storyline.
But personally, I look like the same way that I looked at the Chicago series. I got to look at players. I'd take Dubnyk over Allen because Allen has never stood on his own in a playoff series, whereas Dubnyk has. And this isn't against Chicago. So I'm thinking, I want to see that series again.
Okay, well, we'll make your pick yet.
You
Dan,
wanna
what are
see
your
this?
thoughts on this?
I think you guys.
My first thought was I thought it was a fairly even series, but then the more I looked at it, the more I kind of disagreed with myself.
Plus Eric Stahl.
I mean,
Minnesota.
the teams have a similar makeup. You know, there's not really a superstar in either team. I mean,
Vladimir
I guess
Tarasenko.
Tarasenko, but
He is the face of NHL 17.
It was a vote.
both teams can roll.
The face of NHL 17.
Sure, yeah, whatever, help this league.
Both teams can roll 4 lines.
The face.
Defense is similar.
I got it.
That
Goaltending.
runs the play.
Oh, AJ's got it.
Goaltending. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was close, and I looked at it differently, and I decided it's not close.
What's your pick?
My pick?
Yeah.
I've watched it. I watched St. Louis play Winnipeg 5 times this year. Winnipeg beat them all 5 times. I think St. Louis is piss awful this year.
There we go.
Welcome to the club, Dan.
Minnesota in 5.
Oh! Bull!
Also, I have taken St. Louis for the last 6 years to go far.
And they screwed you every time?
Every time.
Every time.
Who do you got?
Minnesota in 6. I wanted 5. Like, I wrote 6. But, like,
I wrote 6 too, but I just changed it to 5.
okay, that's a scorching
got
take.
myself
I'll take
fired up.
Minnesota in 6. Also, keynote, if LA, you guys know this, but if LA, New Jersey, St. Louis are ever in the playoffs, I never pick them, ever. There's only one year I had to pick because they played each other in the Cup final and I didn't watch a game.
Let me
Not
rephrase.
one.
I don't think St. Louis is awful, but I think their time has passed. Their team's not nearly as good as it's been the last few years.
And I think paying a guy like Paul Stastny so much money has also hurt them over the time too.
Yeah, I
And
haven't even heard his name in like a month.
You lost David Backes. That's something that a lot of people don't mention. They lost David Backes. It's a huge
Their captain.
Exactly. It's the next one.
Yeah, clearly.
I'm gonna go Minnesota in 7.
Okay.
Just because Jake Allen's gonna steal one game. Tarasenko's scoring in overtime in one game. And then somehow it's going to hit pitcher Angelo in the ass and go in, and Minnesota's going to win the series.
And you know what? That's going to be like a Jason Zucker ass
and
goal.
I thought that too. I'm like, oh, it's going 7 games. And I thought about it. I'm like, this is the worst. In my opinion, this is the weakest St. Louis has been in the last 6 years.
And no Kevin Shattenkirk.
And what have they done in the last 6 years? Nothing. I don't think.
And this is arguably the strongest Minnesota's been.
Yes, I agree. I
Years.
don't think it's going to be very close. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to be close.
Who did Minnesota get at trade deadline?
Hansel and Ryan White.
Yeah.
I mean, Eric
I'm
Stahl
still
had a
going Minnesota.
fantastic
He
year.
did. He had a
Charlie
rebound.
Coyle had a fantastic year.
That Flo picked it up yet again.
And if it comes down to goaltending, Minnesota, hands down.
Exactly.
And can Pietrangelo consistently play 40 minutes a night? Because Ryan Suter sure can. And he doesn't even blink. They're like, Ryan, what kind of Gatorade? He's like, a Powerade. We got Gatorade. We got pink lemonade today. I like red. Oh, so pink lemonade. And they got it down so that as he skates by, they squirt droplets into his mouth. It's like Braden Holtby's water bottle trick, but into his mouth.
Yeah.
He doesn't even shift.
doesn't need
It's
to.
insane.
Anaheim, Calgary, Pacific Division. Let's go.
Let's go.
Anaheim, Calgary. Well, first off,
How long has it been since Calgary's won in Anaheim?
it's 25 straight games.
2004. Did they not win a game
2004.
Nope.
in the playoffs 2 years
No.
ago when they
No.
played? They didn't.
They won it at
2004.
both their home games.
2004.
Yeah. They already don't like each other, / no one in the West likes Anaheim. But a lot of players in the NHL now don't like Matthew Tkachuk. He's a kryptonite, guys. He's doing it. This series, though, once again, all West series I'm pretty excited about because...
Really? Minnesota, St. Louis?
Okay, mostly. I'm
All but one.
probably not going to go out of my way to watch Minnesota. Some fan, I know. But this of the series in the West, I think there's only one more. I'm most excited about this one. Like, I'm going to make sure I watch these games because they hate each other. They're going to run each other over. But Anaheim does that to everyone.
Yeah.
So any series that Anaheim is in, I love watching because they just crash and bang. And Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf.
And Ryan Kessler and Kevin Bieksa.
No, but I'm just saying,
As much as you hate them, they're built for the playoffs.
But
They know
Getzler
how to
and
win.
Perry, they're so good down low. And I mean, pass through, their offense is from, behind the net. And they just get the goalie so tired from going side to side. And then they just get these greasy wraparound or, tap-in goals. Because the goalie's I'm tired. I don't want to shoot it. And then they see that, pass it out to, Ricard Raquel or whoever.
But it's not even
whoever's
that.
on the wing.
They just get under your skin.
Yeah.
And they throw you off.
Yeah. They target you.
Kessler's the biggest D-bag in the NHL. He is. Players will say that about him.
He's up there.
But what he does very well.
Yeah, and that's why they pay him the big bucks.
And we should probably point out the reason they don't like each other is because the last time they played, Mark Giordano need Cam Fowler, and now Cam Fowler's out 6 weeks.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Really?
There are a ton of fights after, so
Oh.
they're going to be prime for each other. It could be fun.
Of the West, this is the one I'm watching every game, for sure.
This could be good. I don't know how confident I am in the Flames, though.
Here's the one thing I'm going
know.
to say. Goaltending-wise, my money's on Brian Elliott and not John Gibson. Because what did John Gibson do last year in the playoffs?
Nothing.
He was taken out for Frederick Anderson.
Oh, was he?
Well,
And now Frederick Anderson
2 years
is
ago,
primed and ready to lead it.
Yeah, but 2 years ago when they played Winnipeg, it was Anderson also.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't Gibson.
John Gibson does not have the experience
Who's
in
their
the playoffs.
backup, Bernier?
Jonathan Bernier. And I would not put him in net. And the thing is, I think the exciting part about this series is going to be the young guys, the Hampus Lindholms, the Ricard Raquels, the Jakob Silverbergs, even though he's not that young. More than it's going to be the Getzlavs and Perrys. But, man, that Backlund, Frolik, Kachuk line is going to piss off Kessler and Perry.
Yeah, the
How
3M
many
line
games,
is-
how many minutes before
That's
Matthew Tkachuk gets suspended?
12.
I'm saying in
minutes.
he's going to be suspended within the first game.
Okay,
That's my
okay,
my
fine.
pick.
If we're gonna
I don't think he's that dirty, but he'll...
He's
on the edge.
Okay, you know what we'll
He
do?
plays on the edge,
Questionable play. Which
Questionable
game
play.
of the series are you going to do it in?
Game 1, period 1. He's hitting someone questionably. That's what I'm thinking.
Game 2, period 3.
I'm going to take game 3 in overtime.
If he takes out Kessler...
It's going to be the big...
I'm okay.
The reason why I
pressure
say game... Because they're probably going to be down a goal. Calgary's going to be down a goal going into third period. They'll have lost...
He's going to try and amp it
They'll
up.
have lost game 1. They're down a goal. And he just wants to get them into the game. He's going to make a on-the-edge play against, like, Perry or Getzlav. And he'll go over that edge. Not maybe injure the guy, but a high dirty hit. And take a penalty.
Yeah.
But it'll amp up the Flames and they'll win.
And then because the Ducks are going to
win.
try and run it... Yeah, keep running at him.
I don't know. I don't have... Calgary, they have a young team. They have a lot of skill. They're fast. Their goaltending's good.
More consistent now.
More consistent. I don't think they can overcome Anaheim in the playoffs. That's tough to do.
So here's your pick then. What are you taking?
Anaheim going back and forth in the games.
Okay, well, I already have mine. If you
I'll
want to
say
still-
Ducks in 6.
Okay, I'm taking Calgary in 7, and you'll find... Oh, real? Oh, no, now we got to pick.
Hey,
we gotta pick.
to be fair, I'd love to see the Battle of Alberta. I'd love to.
Well,
I'm
there's
picking-
a reason I picked Calgary in 7.
Well, I'm picking with my head on this one.
With all 4 games? No, I have a reason why I'm going 7, but I think I know your reason for going 7.
My reason for going 7 is because, Calgary's going to get... All their 3 wins are going to be at home. And then they're slaying the dragon in Game 7. They're doing it in Game 7. I love it, but also, like, I won't be upset if Anaheim wins either. Like,
You
this
think
one
Calgary
was
can overcome Anaheim in the playoffs?
I think Anaheim's aging, man. Calgary's got that
But they
3M line is madness.
But Anaheim, but they won their division again.
Yeah,
5th year in a row they've done that.
yeah, their division's pretty weak otherwise.
I don't think Calgary can do it.
Well,
I'm going Calgary in 7 as well. And
Okay, so we gotta pick.
My reasoning behind it is I think the longer this series goes, the more it's going to bode well for Calgary because they're pesky. They're like the pesky Sens from a few years ago. I think they're going to be exciting to watch. You go first.
I get the first pick?
You get first pick.
Oh, you guys have to pick players, right?
Because players for the tiebreaker. Ooh.
Are there any untouchables?
None.
No, yeah, Calgary pretty even scoring.
But Anaheim.
No,
No,
you only
I'm
get
not
Calgary.
taking-
Oh yeah, right.
Score
All right,
from
all
Anaheim.
right. You can.
You
It's
can.
not against the rules.
I get. Well, that changes things. No, you know what? I'm going Gaudreau. I'll stick with the little
Johnny G.
guy. I was debating between Monahan and Gaudreau.
Yeah, I was
so
thinking Monahan.
they play on the same
I
line.
might as well go Monahan.
You're a Monahan king.
Yeah. We'll be watching Game 7. They'll be tied in points, and we're like...
Monahan will score the winner.
Yeah.
Assisting. No, it'll be like assist from Giordano and they're adding secondary assist Gaudreau.
If they're tied in points, we'll have to do goals, and then if that's
Most
tied, we'll have to do-
push-ups.
Perfect.
go.
I got a bum shoulder,
Done.
and I don't think I've ever seen you do a push-up. So let's
Done.
do this. I tap out at 3.
Well, Cam was excited to watch the next series. To me, this next one, this is the one I want to watch the most.
Edmonton, San Jose.
This is the one I think will be the best.
Okay.
This is going to be the best West
Young
series.
core
In the West,
Edmonton. Young guys. First time in the playoffs since they were in the Stanley Cup Final in
2006.
2006. Aging San Jose. Their time, that door, getting real close.
Did you guys see the thing that EA Sports put out about what was happening in the league the last time Edmonton made the playoffs?
Oh, probably lots of stuff.
It was good.
2006. We were in high school.
Finals.
Crosby was starting his, that was Crosby's rookie year.
Chris Pronger played for Edmonton.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Rod Brendamore was still in the league.
Carolina won a cup.
Yeah. Cam Ward was a rookie.
Eric Stahl was a rookie.
Andrew
Did you
Ladd
not?
won the Carolina Hurricanes a cup.
Yeah. Okay, let's.
Are we just going to straight pick?
Yeah, might as well.
I think
young
it's gonna.
guys,
I think
led
it's
by
gonna
the-
be fun.
Oh, McDavid. Hold on. Just
He's unbelievable.
100 points, but you know what I like even more about him? Like, okay, I'm not a big McDavid fan per se because he torches everyone. Love watching him though, fantastic. What I do love about McDavid, a little bit of just like insano in my brain, loves him. He had 30 goals, 70 assists. That's what I'm talking about. Even numbers. God, it felt so good to see that.
Boom.
I'm like, 30 and 70.
I think-
Guys who suck in math,
I've never seen somebody with that type of acceleration. It's like he touches the puck, it's like where, how,
Remember-
how is he that fast?
NHL 2002, the spacebar speed. No,
Yeah.
the double click speed burst where you turn gold, and it's like, there she goes, and I'm on the ground, and I'm on the, don't deny, and like you don't remember?
I don't remember
Dude, you got
ever hearing
breakaway
that
speed
song.
burst and it turned gold.
I don't think Cam's singing it
Dude,
properly.
I got it. Mario Lemieux was on the cover. It's fantastic. Anyways,
Is that the one where you can skate the center, flick their left stick up, and just do a wrist shot, and it goes pew, from center ice
and drops in.
over the goalie's head every time?
All right. Dan, are you starting her off? Or
I'll
you just
start.
going?
I think this is going to be even. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be nasty, and I think Edmonton wins in 7.
Son of a bitch.
That's what I think.
I got Ed Money in 7 as well. We're clearly doing the untouchable McDavid, right? But Greg, you picked 2. You got to pick 2.
I'm going San Jose. I think that
I'm giving Greg a look of disapproval. Oh, I see. He's the
And you know
no
what?
fun police.
I'm okay if Calgary beats Anaheim solely for this reason.
This is
if
why I
Edmonton
picked
wins.
Calgary. I had Edmonton picked, and I'm like, "Pfft, I'm being greedy. I want the matchup. I want this matchup now.
one of the things I'm really one of the reasons I'm leaning towards San Jose is I think last year made them hungrier. I think you're gonna have I think it's gonna be a fantastic series.
You know what happens to sharks
but
in oil-filled
doesn't-
water?
doesn't
They
matter.
die, Greg. They die.
I think experience is gonna be the thing. Like playoff hockey is just different. It's just different type hockey.
Oh, yeah.
Even though you have a guy like Milan Lucic that's been there, one guy doesn't make your team.
Oh, Milan Lucic is the guy you picked, not Patrick Maroon.
No.
Playoff hero 3 years ago.
Moon. Let's go over the guys on this team
Did he have
Who's even
in their-
seen playoffs?
that have not been in playoffs, that are in their top core. Okay, McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Jordan Eberle, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins,
I think Larson.
and Adam
I
Larson
think
was
he
part of
made
the
it.
team.
Oh, Jersey.
Darnell Nurse,
Clef.
Cam Talbot, Oscar Klefbom. There
So?
you go.
Yeah.
You gotta learn somehow.
But
This is how you learn. You lose to a
But
team
they've
that's
got a
been
lot
there.
of veteran. They've got Lucic. They've got Pouliot. They've got Letestu. They've got Chris Russell. They've
that
got
does it.
Oh, you're not helping.
Whoa,
You're not
hey,
helping.
Chris Russell.
Hey, shut
That's
up.
the guy
Hey,
I want.
shut up.
That's
Hey,
the guy I want on my
I'm not
team.
saying skill. I'm saying they've been in the playoffs before,
He blocks
doesn't-
shots.
and that makes a big difference.
I
Okay,
understand.
wait. You have San
His
Jose
zone
how
entry,
many?
6.
Okay, San Jose in 6.
Okay, tiebreaker. Are there any untouchables?
Yeah,
McDavid.
McDavid. Clearly.
Okay. Well, do you want first pick or do I want first?
No, I had first pick last time. You go.
He's the only untouchable.
McDavid's. Yeah, 100 points. Yeah, he's untouchable.
He's the only one.
Only
Yeah.
one. You go ahead.
And I can go first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Draisaitl.
perfect. That's fine. Dang it. Forgot about Draisaitl.
That's why I just want to say
No,
make sure you were
it's fine.
sure.
It's fine. Draisaitl. Now I got to think of someone.
I don't know how to spell that.
Patrick Maroon.
I
You
thought
just
about it.
pumped his tires.
You know what? Yeah.
He had
Maroon.
He had 20 some odd goals this year.
Maroon. Patrick Maroon.
Watch him watch him be the tiebreaker.
He had a David Clarkson season or a Matt Beletsky type season.
Dude, they signed.
Could you imagine if Chris Thorburn got to play with Connor McDavid next year?
Dude,
Same
they
thing.
signed Milan Lucic to do what Patrick Maroon's doing for I won at 7th of the price.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So the West is locked in.
West is donezo.
So that's all we pick. We don't talk anything else further.
Why, if you want to talk anything further,
We have to wait because we're going to do
I know.
pick by pick.
But personally, I want to see Minnesota. My conference final pick.
No, wait. We'll do that after we're done the East.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Oh no, wait, conference final. Sorry.
Yeah,
we can
conference
do that.
final. I want to see Minnesota. What did I want? I want to see Minnesota.
You don't even know what you want.
Minnesota San Jose. Either Minnesota San Jose or Minnesota Calgary. But Minnesota San Jose is what
I have Minnesota Calgary.
Okay.
And no, it's solely because I wanted the Battle of Alberta, and then I'm like, well, damn it, I can't pick McDavid over Calgary. I like Calgary. Calgary it is. Who do you got in your pick?
Western Conference Final?
Western Final. So this would be how the matchups shake up if you want a bracket to physically look at. That's how it would happen. I have a paper written down that Dan's looking at right now.
Okay.
Tantalizing.
I would take Minnesota Edmonton.
Nice.
Interesting. That is very possible to happen. Let's go to the East now. Montreal, New York. We'll start with that.
Original 6 matchup.
Not much to say really about this series, in my opinion.
Now or never for both goalies, honestly, in my opinion.
Now or never for both teams.
Yeah.
I think this is whoever's out in this. You won't see a course firing in Montreal, but you could see a GM shift in Montreal, and you could see Alain Vigneault let go. In New York.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Montreal. They kind of got shafted by winning their division. Because they have to play a team that
they
honestly
would have
is
played
probably...
them anyways, even if... Oh, no, they wouldn't.
No, if they finished second, they would not
They
have.
would have played
That's
Boston.
a great point.
But playing any of the teams in the Atlantic would be easier than playing...
This.
All right, picks?
Do picks. I mean,
Yeah.
this is a series has happened a couple times, so...
Who do you got?
Oh, me? I'm going first?
Yeah, you go first.
I
Do
have
it.
Montreal in 6.
Damn it.
I have the Rangers
Okay.
in 6 as well.
Okay. Oh, by the way,
The biggest reason for that is I just like the systems that New York has more than what's in place in Montreal. And I just like the personnel that's in New York more.
Part of me is just thinking that the Rangers, their window's closed. I mean, Lundqvist did not have a great year.
He bounced back big, though.
I
last few
don't
months.
think Montreal is nearly as good as everyone thinks they are.
Very true. They're not.
I don't want to be a dick
It's
about
tough.
this series, but...
I mean, I'd say, they're evenly matched teams, but I don't think either of them are overly great. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
know
Both
what?
of these
It's
teams, no matter who wins this, I have them losing the next round.
Okay.
That's
You know what?
how
I'm
not confident I
I
am.
picked Montreal in 6. I'm going to stick with it.
Okay.
So we got to do tiebreaker.
Are there any untouchables in Montreal?
Carey Price.
Oh, I just want to say Galchenyuk's
Max?
on the 4th line right now, so that's fantastic.
Max?
Will Shanahan Max?
Yeah, you Shanahan, Pacioretty.
No, I don't care. We can leave him
No,
open.
no, Will
You
Shanahan.
get first pick because I picked first last time.
The Woodsman, Shea Weber.
Ooh, I will go Radulov.
Oh, piss. Forgot about him. That's okay.
I thought about Weber and then I was like,
No, I like Weber. He was the first one to come to mind. But just solely based off this series, I picked Montreal because I'm not picking New York. Every time I watch New York play, I'm like, oh, they're not bad. And then you got Zuccarello, or you got Kreider, or you got McDonough, or you got Girardi. One of them just does something, and I'm like, oh, they did that to the Flyers.
as boring as I think Minnesota St. Louis will be, this series is the one I could care less about.
I'm not watching a game of this.
I don't care
That
about
is a
this series.
promise.
And I'm wearing a New York Rangers shirt right now. I don't.
That's okay. Yeah, no, that's okay.
What is this? Oh,
Montreal, New York.
New York.
I just don't care.
Ottawa, Boston.
They never played each other, but Ottawa has they pumped them in the regular season.
Yeah.
Regular season doesn't mean anything in my opinion right now. Are we just going straight to picks or
Might as
breaking
well.
down?
I don't
We
think
just
there's
stop
much.
caring.
I just don't think
Oh,
there's
no.
much talk about the Western Conference matchups are just so much more interesting.
Mark Mathot lost a finger,
Yeah.
and he's going to play.
Oh,
Good,
is he?
Good.
He might.
Well, I guess if we're going to give a bit of analysis, Carlson, I don't know, they were sellers, were they not? And they made the playoffs.
Can we
Ottawa?
No, they
Yeah.
weren't.
No,
Were they buyers?
No, they weren't. They were
They
just
didn't
kind
really-
of.
They got Burrows. They got Alex Burrows.
Yeah.
Oh,
He'll
my
be a
God, I
pest.
forgot about him.
Torrey Krug's going to love him.
Oh man, he's gonna piss some
Um,
people off.
This is
Well,
the
going
pesky
back to
Sens versus the
going back
Bruins,
to the
like,
Cup final in 11, he pissed off the Bruins big
Yeah,
time.
he did. And then didn't stand up when Sedin just got ragdolled by...
And who picked Ottawa to make the playoffs at the beginning of the year?
You know what? That's fine.
That was you.
That's
Oh,
fine.
I gotta let him ride this wave because we cut at him so hard. Like
Yeah.
it
Oh,
was
yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
I got up.
Yes.
No,
I
remember-
got up and yelled at him.
Remember
Like,
the way here, we're like, way to Dan's that day, we're like, yeah, there's no way Ottawa's making it, right? Like, there's no way. And Dan picks him, we're like, are you kidding
like
me?
just went at him with the torches.
They almost won the division.
I know.
Yeah.
If they didn't lose to Montreal 3 times in March.
So I'm going to ride the Sens train a little further. Ottawa in 6.
Oh man, Dan.
Are we picking the same things a little bit?
No, not at all. I got Boston in 5.
Okay.
I've got.
I'm not confident in that pick. I just don't want to see Ottawa.
I don't think Boston's that good.
I've got
I have to pick a
Ottawa.
winner.
Ottawa in 5.
Whoa!
I thought about going 5. I'll give them 6.
Wow, you got.
Yeah.
I'm the only Boston guy. Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna leave Toronto, Washington for last.
Yeah, clearly. That
Okay,
we said
fine.
that at the
No,
start.
let's talk about it now.
No.
Yeah.
Let's go Pittsburgh, Columbus.
Okay, first off, Columbus not coming in on a great streak.
Hey, they won their last game, and it was an important game.
Bastards!
Having said
They
that,
They don't like
tossed
fun
the
things.
game to
They
let
don't
you-
like fun
they
things.
don't.
They don't
having
like
said
fun
that, this is probably the second series I'm looking forward to the most, aside from the Edmonton one.
Brandon Dubinsky
I think-
versus Sidney
I think
Crosby.
it's gonna be good.
Always fun. Always
Dude,
fun.
Brandon Dubinsky.
He hates
I
him.
think it's going to be fun.
They hate
It's
each other.
going to be good.
This series, like,
And I think, honestly, it's the hardest one to call.
if we'll do top 3 series after like each one we're looking forward to. This isn't mine for sure.
I think it'll be good.
Pittsburgh, I mean, returning Cup champs. People think they're primed to do it again.
But without
Obviously-
Chris Letang,
Oh yeah, right. What happened to him?
Ron Hainsey gets playoffs, guys.
4 to 6 months with a neck contusion.
Oh, yeah, right.
herniated disc.
Yeah,
Guys,
herniated
Ron
disc.
Hainsey gets playoffs.
That's true.
Yep, he does.
Do you know what that means?
He's gonna,
Hainsey smash. He's going to try to block shots that aren't around it. I don't
Watch
know.
him score. Like
He's gonna
not
get
even
a
trying
score.
to.
he's
Not
gonna
even
get
trying
the
to.
Penguins rub. Like everyone gets a stupid Penguins rub. It's not fair. And I'll pick then. I will go Columbus in 6.
Ooh.
Guys,
tough
the
to pick.
Flyers fan inside of me won't let me pick Pittsburgh.
Get it-
Not
get it.
in this series. Oh, I just want to say, like, I also want Columbus in 6 because for those about to rock, just like I love that song. I love that goal song.
Cam is the 6th line. If the fans are the 5th line, Cam's
Dude,
the
I'm
6th
right
line.
there. I want to be the guy holding the cannon and
By
firing.
himself.
This
Yeah.
is another one where my heart wants Columbus, but my head's just like, no,
You're
you're
your
stupid.
body. Your body's telling you yes. Who do you got?
I'm going to pick Pittsburgh in 7.
Okay, at least you give us 7. That's nice.
I think Columbus is a good team. I think that I think they've got some talent, but it'll be interesting because they do have young defensemen like Seth Jones, who's had I think 1 playoff series under his belt. You know, you have I can't think of the other
Zach Werenski.
It's his first playoff series. It's going to be interesting to see how Sergei Bobrovsky plays. It's the Penguins. They really don't ever they're good. It's
They're the
Matt Murray and that
Penguins.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think this one could go either way.
It really can.
But I'm kind of with Greg. My head says Pittsburgh, and I had them in 7 games also, so we have to pick a tiebreaker.
Oh no.
Well,
Shannon-
no Crosby, no Malkin.
Yeah, no Crosby, no Malkin.
I'll let you pick first.
No Crosby, no Malkin?
Yeah.
Do you want me to name line mates?
Connor Sheary. That's who I'm going to take.
I know who I'm taking.
Who?
Phil.
Phil the
Oh,
Thrill.
baby!
Kessel.
Dude! See, I wouldn't even thought of Phil because I'd go Jake Gensel.
I was.
Dude, Sheary plays at Crosby. He had like
No.
25 goals.
No, but so does Gensel.
Gensel just missed a huge open net the other day. I'm not
You don't
going
trust
to-
him
Don't
anymore.
trust him.
Oh, Phil the Thrill. Yeah, baby.
Philly.
See, that's why if Pittsburgh wins, I'm still okay with it, I guess, because Phil.
Okay, now let's
right.
talk about the series
Clearly,
that
I'm
I've
not-
wanted to wait for. Okay, no, you finish first.
No, I just want to say this series, Washington, Toronto. Like, first time Toronto's made the playoffs in 2004, so that's pretty sweet.
2013.
Well,
First time
they-
in a full year they've made it. Since 2004.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
The score sent me that.
No, but
No, hey.
dude, my God, I'm not missing a minute of this game. And if people spoil the scores,
I'm getting pissed.
Oh,
I'm watching
I'm
every
shutting
game.
off all the updates. I'm recording it. If I can't make it, I'm watching every minute of this series. as short or long as it'll be. I'm watching every minute of it.
Obviously, they missed out from playing Ottawa by 1 point, and that's basically the 1 point at the start of the season where Matthews scored 4 goals. If he had scored 5 in regulation, they would have
40
won.
goddamn goals wasn't enough. He should have had 41.
He should have had 5 in the
It
first
wasn't
game.
enough. Why couldn't you have 16 overtime losses instead of 15?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there it is. Well, we can talk about it now.
Well, no,
loser point.
It's stupid. It's dumb. Yes, Toronto made it because of that. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I think, honestly, I think the loser point's stupid. It should be out of hockey. But that being said as well, I think if you lose a loser point, you should also get rid of shootouts, where Toronto was 1-9. So really, you take out shootouts, you balance those numbers out, they're still in the playoffs with OT. Most likely, because you're probably going to win 50% instead of shootout where they had New Jersey level of terribleness this year. I think they were 1 for 9 or 2 for 9.
Regardless of how you get in, it doesn't matter how you get in.
Exactly.
It just matters that you get
Storyline
in.
though, Toronto, 100th season, they get into the playoffs.
New beginning.
They got, obviously Austin Matthews from first overall, the first round.
I mean, what they've done with a young team is pretty impressive.
But what Washington has is it is literally now or never.
This is David versus Goliath in the strongest sense you can ever have for hockey. And the other thing is, you look at Toronto, who have had so few injuries this year that it's remarkable, really. And that's probably because of a younger lineup. But regardless of that, Anderson just got clipped by Sestito on Saturday night. Don't know how good he is, especially after what happened when Kane fell on top of him in that Buffalo game a few weeks ago, where he was taken out of that. So don't really know how good he's going to be. Roman Polak and Nikita Zaitsev both left the game on Sunday against Columbus.
And neither practiced today either.
Yeah, so we don't really know how good they're
But no Polak is a positive, right?
Then you got to put Alexei Marchenko in. And that's... I'd rather have the guy with playoff experience. To be honest, when it comes down to this point,
Chris Russell...
He doesn't have playoff experience.
How dare you compare Chris Russell to Roman
Polak?
Got
the same skill set.
No, I would take Chris Russell over.
Chris Polak, sweet mother of God.
I would take Chris Russell over Roman Polak. I have two sides to this. I obviously... yeah.
What do you mean you got two? No, you could tell all of the hype, because, I've broken it down
I know for a fact that Washington's going to win this series. On paper...
Heard it here first, folks!
They're just
if
better.
Toronto advances to round 2, Greg, you're not allowed to watch a game.
That's
Banned.
not true.
Did you pick Washington?
I haven't picked Washington yet. No. No, do not put... No.
Okay.
I know that in my mind that Washington's going to win this series. But just think for a second, what if Toronto wins?
There's nothing for Toronto to lose.
No, and everything. No pressure's on Toronto.
Lots of people are
I
saying
don't
they're
think I
playing
can
with
go on
house money.
Twitter for the whole
here's the other thing.
rest of the year. If
This
Toronto
is
wins.
very similar to when Anaheim and Winnipeg played a couple years ago. There was no pressure on Winnipeg and all the pressure on Anaheim, and Anaheim delivered. And people were talking how good Winnipeg was. Now, no one's really talking about how good Toronto is because they're not ready. They're not there yet. But they're not.
What? Dan's making some faces.
Have you watched TSN in the last 6 months? That's all they talk about.
Dan,
They're not
change
Stanley
the
Cup
channel.
They had a top 10 of just the Maple Leaf rookies.
That's the point because they're so good.
They're fantastic.
Toronto
I'm
Sports Network.
gonna pick
That's
last.
the TSN. That's what we just said.
I'm gonna
Sports
pick
Network.
last, so you guys can go first. This is my favorite team. I only get a chance every once in 10 years.
Hold on, I just want to say, people have been saying Toronto's playing with house money. Where do you find money in your house? That's bullshit. I was looking around all day
In the
today.
couch.
In the couch.
In the couch?
Yeah. Under your
My
bed.
dogs sleep on the couch.
Under your bed, where the boogeyman is.
No, under my bed's shoes. Shoe boxes, empty shoe boxes that's old magazines. Am I picking first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay.
Or do we go to the non-Toronto fan
We have
who doesn't
to.
have a stake in this
We gotta
series?
go to the
You're not even a Toronto. You're a bandwagon
Screw
fan.
you! Are you kidding me? I always defend
I know,
Toronto.
I will
I'm kidding.
pick, since
How
you guys
dare
are having
you.
a hard time, I'm going Washington, and I'll give Toronto 2 wins. I'll get Washington in
Whoa.
6.
Whoa!
I'm being generous.
My heart-
Wow,
skipped a beat.
dude, Dan makes it look like a douche. I have Washington in 5.
I was
Let
thinking
me
it.
justify why. I would love it if Toronto won. This is the series I'm not missing a second of, not ever. But the reason I gave them 5, obviously I want a full 7 series. That'd be fantastic. But I'm going to give Toronto the one game. I think they're going to get the first game at home, like game 3. But I think, again, this is just a learning experience. And they're going to, although it's going to be, I think it'll be Washington in 5, they're going to be good games. Like, they're not going to, get stomped. No. I don't think any game's going to, get out of hand by any means. Greg, obviously, this has been a long time coming.
Well, I've never done a prediction on a podcast for my favorite team, so this is interesting, for sure.
Yeah, that's true. He's rocking back and forth. His palms are sweaty.
Knees weak, arms are heavy. There's foam around my sweat already.
I didn't mean to say palms are sweaty. Should have said
Mom's
clammy.
spaghetti.
Should have said clammy.
He's here to respond to service. He looks calm and ready to
All
drop
right,
bombs. But he keeps on
okay.
I'm just gonna start writing a T.
Okay, here it is.
Yeah.
T.
Here's my pick. I'm going with my heart on this one.
Nice.
T.
Fucking rights.
Toronto in 7.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But for my actual, that's
No,
my pick for this. I know. That's my pick for
Red
this.
Sharpie means blood.
That's my pick is in.
Blood. And?
But my heart is saying Toronto in 7. My head is saying Washington 5. Reason being is I think Toronto can get one game off them, but you look at the strength and the depth of Washington all the way through their lineup, especially with a maybe not 100% Frederick Anderson and Zaitsev and Roman Polak, and you don't know who else on their team's nursing injuries. It's a different series, but
you have the battle of the 43s.
But here's the thing, guys.
And I'm not a fan of either of them, to be honest.
Remember last year we all thought
Kadri?
No,
you can't be a Leaf fan if you don't like Kadri.
Okay, I don't dislike Kadri.
Okay, that's what I want to hear.
But when I'm grouping him in with Tom Wilson, I can't support Kadri.
That's fine.
Because
you like him if he plays for you.
Boom, there you go.
If he doesn't play for you, you want to kill him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Tom Wilson.
What's your Eastern Conference final?
Eastern Conference? Oh, let me check.
What's yours, Dan?
I gotta see how it pans out. I don't want to be an idiot with my picks and not know what I'm talking about.
I got Washington and Boston.
How is it gonna pan out? I've got.
Dan's probably gonna pick Ottawa and Washington or Ottawa and Pittsburgh.
Toronto and Ottawa.
I'm gonna pick.
Matt, if that were to happen, I would lose
Eastern
my mind.
Conference final?
No. Oh.
That's the only way it work.
I'll dabble. I'm gonna go Washington, Ottawa.
Okay.
Nice.
Because if Ottawa and Montreal win, I'm taking Ottawa to beat Montreal.
My honest one is Washington, the Rangers. But my one for fun is Toronto, Ottawa. Because who would not want to see Toronto, Ottawa?
Well, we all wanted to
it'd
see
be
it, but Mr. Tortorella told his team to show up on Sunday.
Well, no, just everybody else was winning. Everybody else won, and Toronto just couldn't get enough points. Regardless, it really, whose decision was it to say last week of the season? Hey, last week of the season, Toronto and a lot of other teams in the NHL, you guys are all going to get 5 games in 7 days. Awful scheduling. At least next year, we're not going to have this minimized schedule, this compacted schedule, so we don't get this kind of BS.
But they can't really complain because Winnipeg did that for the first 2 months.
I understand that. But 5 games in 7 days when you're in a playoff race, it's a lot of games when other teams don't have that many. But everyone.
And if you change that sentence,
then don't overachieve.
5 games in 7 days when they don't mean anything,
Then don't overachieve and make the playoffs.
Yeah, jeez.
Simple.
Stupid overachieving.
Obviously,
Duh, Greg. Get into the Flyers.
Obviously,
and
Uncle
Jets
Gary
style.
didn't think that they'd make it.
Okay, well, thanks for listening. We want to know your picks down below for everything. Or do you want to pick Stanley Cup final?
Oh, I have Washington, Minnesota.
I have Washington, Minnesota as well, with Washington winning.
Yeah,
Washington.
and I have Hope East being the consummate.
Who did I pick?
That was the
Edmonton,
hardest one I
I
have.
have Hope East. Yeah.
I'll go Washington, Edmonton, just to change it up. Because I had Edmonton, Minnesota. So
And who do you have winning?
Caps.
So we're all
Actually, I have Toronto.
Yeah,
I have Toronto.
Hold on,
in my
we
heart.
skipped He's Your Hopefuls last week. We have to do it this week.
Okay, the final He's Your Hopefuls of
By the way, I just
season.
want to say final ranking came out. Nolan Patrick still won.
Still won, eh?
Yeah.
So it's still Patrick's parade.
It's Heeshear and Nolan's Fiesta Carnival. Yep,
Okay.
that's it for sure. Who's in 5?
Nico or Nolan?
Nico or Nolan?
There we go. Nico
All right.
or Nolan.
We are gotten 5th.
Let me get there.
By the way, the Jets have 2.7% of getting first. Flyers have 2.2%.
Which means they will not.
Okay, so you got Buffalo, New Jersey, Arizona, Vancouver, Colorado. Really has not changed much. Which means Arizona is not only going to have guys like Dylan Strome and Brendan Perlini and Max Domi, they're also probably going to get Liljegren and they already have Chychrun. They're going to be good for years once these guys start to.
Well, and you've already mentioned they're like unstoppable, or Dan has in NHL because Pronger and Datsuk are on that team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they need a goaltending change. They need to get somebody new
But
there.
as you were mention down below for your pick.
Yeah, let us know who you think is going to win Stanley Cup, conference final picks, first round picks, whatever you might think. I'm curious to see what you guys think.
No, I do. Like, honestly, this is like, because this is the most interactive we can get apart from like guessing the draft.
Yeah.
Or like,
We should do that this year. We should do a mock draft of the first round. Which
maybe
could
top
be boring.
10. Maybe top 10.
Yeah. Okay.
But also, or we could do, and then like guessing like the awards, like we did at the start of the year. But then actually, when it comes around, like who do you think?
And next week we're gonna go over our bold predictions.
Yeah, because I dropped the ball. That was my bad.
I think maybe one of us picked McDavid to win the scoring race. I'm not sure though. But
I think I did.
Is that bold though?
But it wasn't bold. But I think we did award
We did
predictions.
it east, west, and then a bold. But I just know my bold was a Leafs.
But I think we also predicted the award winners.
Yeah, all I know is like my shutout thing. Oh, Cam Talbot, just to mention. 41 wins in a season, most by any Oiler goalie.
good for him.
Do you know why? They don't have another goalie.
Well, no, but even dating back to like, you think Grant Fuhr would play more games?
But maybe they had a decent backup.
I think they also only played 78 games.
They have no.
Oh.
Who is Edmonton's backup?
Laurent Brossoit or Jonas Gustafsson.
Gustafson? Oh man, that worries me.
Don't worry, it's
got
not
him
a
going.
Dwayne Rollison
You
situation.
got him going to the final, baby.
It's not a Dwayne Rollison situation.
No, you sure?
I should have done my
'Cause
homework.
It's worse.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you guys
Send
very
us
much
home.
for listening. Check us out anywhere you get your podcasts, whether that be Google Play, iTunes, or a podcast app on your phone. Also, check us out on YouTube, Last Man In Podcast. Email the show, lastmanNPC@gmail.com. And check us out on Twitter @lastmanNPC. And leave comments and questions, and we'll get back to them as soon as possible.